Okay, we will start now, all right? We're coming in slowly. All right. What I want to do here today, I just wrote something for the morning class, so I thought of leaving that remaining. Don't want to disturb the writing, so I can minimize the writing here. Okay, so people coming in. Okay, let's start. Okay, skip, no time to finish. Now, this is quite one of the most important chapter. It's a very important chapter. You know why? Because capital, bank must know how much capital to keep. Regulators are concerned about this. Examiners also like to test you this chapter in not only this unit, for any other unit as well. They love to test you this subject, this topic. So I forecast. I don't know what's coming out. Seriously, I promise to God, I don't know what's coming out, but I think this should be there in your final exam. If not in section B, at least there will be, it will appear in section A. So don't forget to revise and recap this chapter. Thank me after exam if it comes up. Okay, I mean, because of me, you studying and it comes up, thank me after exam. Now, this is going to be CAR, capital adequacy ratio. We can call it short CAR, right? Capital adequacy ratio. We have to make sure it's enough so that the depositors are the fellows who are going to deposit money in your bank, confidence that let me wear my soles. Okay, yeah. So depositors is confidence to put in money because they know that you have enough capital to buffer in case anything goes wrong. All right, so there are three levels of tiers that you need to know based on Basel III. This is one of the regulation. Those days they said the meeting and they said, okay, there's three capital ratios. The first one is tier 1 capital, common equity. So let's talk about this. Common equity comes under this common equity. They said that your, by the way, the ratio is very simple, capital over asset. Yeah, capital asset adequacy ratio is capital over your asset. So your capital over your asset must be at least 7%. Later we'll define what is the meaning of asset. Asset is complicated. There's some process here. So we have here capital adequacy ratio will be based on common equity tier must be 7% of your total asset that we are going to consider. If then we go to tier 1. Now tier 1 includes common equity. Yeah, this is common equity. Tier 1 includes common equity. So you must have at least, if you follow tier 1 capital risk-based ratio, you should get at least minimum. According to Basel, recommendation is that you should have at least 8.5 equal or if not above. Or you can have this total, not all. Another ratio here which is going to be total capital ratio. Total capital is tier 1. And all the total here must be about 10.5% of your total assets. Assets is the complicated one. We're going to come here and see what is asset all about. So here we have here, this is going to be capital. Capital over asset. Capital, not a big issue. Capital is not a big issue. You know what is capital. You know what is common capital. I extracted this from your notes. Is that okay? I extracted from your notes that you have done in previous studies. Not studies, in these previous weeks. Okay, so you have all these tier 1 examples and all that here so that you can recap and recall. So we have here risk-based capital ratio is equals to capital over risk-adjusted asset. Now we say C over A, right? C over A. A is only taking the assets that are risky. We only look at the asset that are risky. You must keep enough capital for the risky assets because this you need to maintain the capital adequacy based on the risk. Don't take based on all assets. It's based on only the risky assets. Some assets are not risky at all. So you take 0% of the asset. Like example, we will talk later, is cash. Cash, virtually, it's no risk at all. So that asset, today you have $100. Tomorrow you have the same amount. If you store it properly, safeguard it, you will have that cash in your pocket. So this is no risk at all. Some ratios, some assets, we will take 80% of the asset. Some assets, we will take, what do you call that? 100% of the asset. Not all assets are risky. Okay, so what's the objective here? Here is no risk, not rock, no risk. Okay, we must take. This is no risk. 0% means no risk. This is the best actually. Imagine all your assets got no risk. Then you're going to take a capital divided by 0. Hey, capital divided by 0 will be infinity, super big percentage. Is that okay? So definitely you're going to meet all these things. So we don't, I mean, there's no such thing as capital divided by asset worth. Riskless asset is 0, but there can be some risky assets. So we're going to divide by something. But the objective here is to have bigger ratio. If you want to have bigger ratio, if you want to have this to be large, you either have a lot of capital, which we don't want to bring, or we reduce the asset that we have, which is risky. So you always want to have the largest amount here. One way is to bring in more capital. That's last resort. That is last resort, or try to reduce the asset that is going to be risky. Of course, asset is good, but we want to reduce the asset that is going to be risky. In other words, have less assets. All right, that will be the intro, quick recap of the intro of this from your lecture. Let's go to question number 1. Now, I scribble something here. Allow me to scribble. You can get a clean sheet. Yeah, you can get a clean sheet from the Moodle. If you don't want any scribbling, you can get it from the Moodle. Okay. Now, assume there is a bank. And 31st December. Okay, now let me, this is the question. Okay, let me just go in here. Let me introduce to you what is this intro question here. Total capital. Total capital is all the pyramid. Tier 1, tier 2, total capital, common equity capital, total. So this will be the numerator. Yeah, this will be the numerator. So next we need to divide it by asset. Divided by asset, we have got asset that is for credit risk. We have got asset that is for market risk. With asset that is for I risk. Yeah, IR risk in the banking books. Yeah, interest rates risk. Okay, the banking books. And there's one more here. It's not kind of asset directly. It's a charge of capital. Not asset, it's capital. Capital charge for operational risk. That means you're going to charge $42 for this capital charge. But later in question 4, we'll see what are examples of operational risk. So coming back down here, what is the capital adequacy ratio? Capital adequacy ratio is capital divided by assets that are risky. So here we got assets that are going to be involved. Here, got 3 assets here. So what are we going to do? We're going to divide it with, let's make it slightly bigger. So this is the same question. Yeah, this is a different way of typing out the notes. Here we want to have here highest. Here we want the highest, the better. And here we want to have the lowest, the better, because end of the day, we want to make sure that your CAR will be bigger value end of the day. Now, how to do this question? And we know that this is capital of 230. 230 is the numerator. And what are we going to do here? We are going to divide it by the denominator, which is simply your asset. Asset. This must be converted to asset. It's not in asset format. This is capital charge. You can just read what I've wrote here, nothing much here. It's actually the buffer that you need. Coming back, let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. Now, we know that Basel recommend 10.5%. So that's like the ultimate one, total capital. Basel says capital over asset must be 10.5%. Okay. So if your capital is $1, if you put in $1, to get 10.5%, your asset must be equivalent to mathematically 9.52. Multiplier effect is one. So if your capital is $1, that means your risk-weighted asset is going to be 9.52. So you must have multiplier factor willing to carry 9.52 asset for every dollar of capital we put in. So you're going to get 10.5. So this question tells us that you are going to put in $42 capital charge for operational risk part of the thing. Operational risk, we'll see what is that in a while. So if I'm going to put $42, so what is this denominator here? It's actually 400, very close to 400. Okay, so 42 divided by this figure equals to 10.5. So 42 divided by this figure is 10.5. You do your maths, it's going to be close to $400 or 399 point something. So every $1 capital, you need to have this. Question 4 will refer to this operational risk. What is operational risk? So same thing here. This is going to be asset needed for operational risk. $42 multiplied by 9.42. This is already your asset. Yeah, all the time it's going to be 9.52 because the logic here is Basel recommends 10.5% of this particular thing. So capital is $1. Risk-weighted asset is going to be the amount of your asset that you need to carry for every dollar capital to maintain this thing. All right, so that is going to be the answer here. So the question is now, what is your capital CAR here? Capital adequacy ratio is 11.72%. Basel says 10.5 is the minimum. It's more than that, so it's a smiley face all the way. You are happy in this case. All right, that was question number 1, introducing to you what is CAR ratio, what is operational risk, converting RWA for operational risk. If it's not given, it'll be given in a capital form. Every dollar capital, you need to multiply with 9.52. Logic is that what I have explained just now. Okay, so are you all good? Are you all good? Type 1 if you are good. Type 1 if you are good for question number 1. Okay. Oh yeah, got it. Good. So let's continue with the next one. Yeah, let's continue with the next question number 2. Now, question number 2 is equals to. Simple, very simple. You'll be thinking, hey, why? There's only 6 questions, right? But I will look like I'll be rushing away to reach question number 4. I'll tell you why later. 5 and 6, sorry. What is the difference between economic capital and book value capital? Very easy. The answer is simple. Economic one reflects the market value, market capitalization. It reflects all the market scenario, market condition, and it changes on a daily basis if it's a listed company. Okay, so that's the best value. So you basically take the value of asset, whatever asset you have, minus the market liabilities that you have, and these values can change because interest rate change, asset value can change, liability value can change. Yeah, all these things based on the reflection of the market prices at the moment. Just now I said market cap, that's more on shares. Okay, don't get confused with that. Okay, so this is basically taking into account the value of the asset minus the value of the liability. So book value is the whatever accountants record in the books that is found in the balance sheet. There's a risk that some of your assets are outdated or toxic assets that you can't recover in full. So you might be misleading or maybe overstating your asset or understating your liabilities. Possibility is there if you are using book value, especially when economy is downturn, your book value can actually be overstated. Okay. So what's the difference? The difference is the valuation book and valuation of the market. Simple. Yeah, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay. Question number 2 is simple, straightforward. Look at number 3. Now, number 3 is application of question number 2 into the valuation of the asset and liabilities in the books. And we're going to see what's the difference there. Now, State Bank. This is just the name of the bank, no panic. State Bank is just the name of the bank. They're not asking you to state the bank name. State Bank has the following balance sheet. On balance sheet is what you have here. Now, here we're not talking about capital adequacy ratio. We just want to compare market and the book value story. Book value capital is 10. Book value capital at the moment here today without any adjustment. Now, by the way, book value accounting, book value also can be adjusted if you have more information related to it. Okay, so at the moment you have all this book value assets you have here and all that you have. Now, let me just go to the question. Wait, I give you this question. This one. This is actually the question and this is the answer. Yeah, the answer, let me explain to you that is here. Otherwise, we cannot go into the last question. Lack of time. Okay. State Bank had the following. This is on balance sheet item. This is on the balance sheet at the moment. The loans are primarily, let me get my hand. Here's my hand here. Okay. The loans are primarily a fixed rate, medium-term loan, while the deposit are either short-term or whatever. Okay. Doesn't matter. Next sentence is important. Now, rising interest rate. Rising interest rates. When the interest rate go up, answer me, good news or bad news for the banker? Yeah, good news or bad news for the banker? I'm not telling you for your father who bought a house recently. Bad news or good news for the bank? Interest rate go up. Banker. Good or bad? Just type for me. Doesn't matter. Wrong. Banker love it. Recently, our country increased interest rates. Yeah. Good news or bad news? Good or bad? Type good or bad. Very simple question. All of you shy. Shy, huh? Shy. Come type. Come. First person dare to type. After what? I know you all type already. Just not yet enter. Okay. I see all coming together. Now all coming together. Yeah. Good news. That's right. Good news. Any bad news here? For your father, it's a bad news because he's paying interest. Banker become rich during interest go up. Share prices of the bank go up when interest rate goes up because they make money. Okay, they make money lending money. Good news. You're all coming in together. Or is it my Zoom very slow? I know you all type already. Not yet enter. Once you enter, then you all enter very fast. Next time I must give money who enter fast. Okay. Rates of interest go up. Well, it's a good news. Can also be a bad news to the banker because when interest go up, the person, maybe your father, will start to run away. Is it not run away? I mean, will start thinking about not paying and running away. There can be a potential bad news inside the good news. There is a good news, but also look at the other side of the mirror. The other guy is standing. His name is borrower. For him, it's bad news. For you, it's good news. But always think, he going to run. You better run after him. Okay? So, 3% is going to be loans are considered to be uncollectible. 3% of the loan are going to be uncollectible, meaning to say bad news, because the other side of the bank is good news. I know it's good news, but the other side of the mirror, this guy borrower, he's so stressed out because interest went up. So 3% going to be uncollectible. We're going to see whether accountants are going to adjust that or not. If accountants adjust that, that is going to be book value. Accountants don't adjust that, then it's not going to be. Market value, yes, economic value, down by 3%, and thus have no economic value. But accountants say 1/3 of these uncollectible loans will be charged off. 1/3 of it will be charged off, meaning 2/3 we can recover. Well, accountants believe there is always a hockey stick. There's always a baseball bat in the market where you can carry along to go and see your customers. Yeah, you can get some guys with a tattoo in the arm and tattoo in the muscle or whatever to go and collect the money. So they think 3%, don't worry, we can collect 2%. 1% will really be bashed up. We'll whack them and they still cannot pay. 2%, after whacking them, they will pay us the money. So that's what accountants believe here. So 3% is going to be economically bad, but 1% for the accounting people says 1% is going to be gone in the balance sheet. Okay, understand? Huh? Further increase in interest rate. When interest rate goes up, what happens? You studied in the finance, corporate finance, where if interest rate goes up, when interest rate goes up, what happens? The value of the bond, the price of the bond, when interest rate goes up, the price of the bond starts to go down. Is that okay? Price of the bond starts to go down. 1/3 is uncollectible loan, 1/3 is uncollectible. And further increase in interest rates will cause 5% the decrease in market value of the remaining loans. So the banker will also feel the asset value that they are holding, whatever asset they have invested in, will fall in value. So it's going to hurt their asset value when interest go up by 5%. So market value will be gone by 3%. And on top of that, the 5% will be going down some more on the leftover. So it's not technically 8%. It's technically 97% and 5% on that 97%. I'll explain to you in a while. Yeah, I'll explain to you in a while how to get this. Not 8. Market value not drop by 8. Accountant, 1% only. Accountant don't care about market value. Okay, so let's go and do the balance sheet here. Now, I hope I'm talking clearly, okay, so you can understand. Now, listen. What is the impact on balance sheet after the necessary adjustments are made to book value of accounting? Book value accounting, only 1%, my friend. So let's go to the balance sheet. The loan here, we only talk about the loan. We don't talk about the assets they have. Let me just, it's very slow a bit Zoom today. Let's just extract this page out so that we don't have to run around. Okay, put it by the side here. Now, my asset is got 100. Yes, the only thing that is going to affect by interest rate and all that is 90 million. Okay, so 90 million is the one that is going to run away, not recoverable. Cash, you cannot say not recoverable. Cash is in your pocket, my friend. Okay, so under the book value of accounting, the only adjustment is going to be the 1% of that 90 million, which is going to be the loan that is sitting in the book, this one. So it's going to hurt your value to 0.1, not 1%. Sorry, 1% of 90 million is going to be $0.9 million. The corresponding entry will be your double entry. What's your double entry? Asset disappear, capital also disappear. So your capital disappears 0.1 and your asset disappears 0.9, sorry, 0.9 and 0.9. Look at the balance sheet I wrote here. This balance sheet here. Original balance sheet is the one that adjusted balance sheet will be 0.9 drop, and loan or your asset 0.9 drop. Whatever it is, balance sheet still balance. And you got the first one in your book value balance sheet. Now, the second one is going to be under the market value balance sheet. Under the market value accounting, 3% decrease in loan will be recognized. Is that okay? Under the market value accounting, 3% loan will be recognized. That means 90 million dropped by 3% is going to be 90 multiplied by 97%. Whatever the amount is, leave it there. Out of that value, 95% will be what do you call that? The value will stay on. The 5%, the value will just slip away, will just vanish. So it's going to be down by another 5% on top of this 97% of the 90. All of you understand, huh? You can't kill someone if he's already dead. You cannot say 97%, 8% multiplied, 90 multiplied by, what do you call 8%, because it's 3%. Here's 3%, here's 5%. Something wrong. Gosh, I have to open up everything now. Give me a moment. Sorry. Oh goodness, that's just no choice. Close everything. Give me a moment. Just give me a moment. Open back my. Second. Hang. Shut down that first, open back. All okay, Anything next week, last week? Yeah, next week is last week. Hopefully I can recover everything with nothing. Again, I can recover some of it. Let's do it. Okay, sorry. Yeah, all the other documents got. No matter. Okay, 90 multiplied by 97%, and then 95. So actually, you cannot say 3 plus 5 is. You can. Some students will think 3 plus 5 is 8. Why can't you just take 90 multiplied by 92%? Cannot. Because if you take 90 multiplied by 92%, that means you are charging this 3% die already, right? Then you're saying die already means what? The value gone, right? Then you're going to take 5% again, drop from that gone value. Value gone already. What? Yeah, you shoot someone, fella die already. Take a gun, some more shoot him. You cannot have, don't waste your bullet here. Actually, it's like 95% of that remaining will drop some more. Okay, it's not like 92% straight away. Careful with these sentences here. So that will be your total capital, or so total asset originally 90, now will be revalued into market value at 82.935, which is a drop from 90 to this is 7.0665. So that is going to be the drop in capital. Yeah, that is going to be the drop in capital. Double entry, the new capital from originally 10 million. Let me show you the balance sheet because you guys are accountants in the making. So the capital drop, in other words, asset drop first, okay? Asset drop first. Let's highlight this. I got a highlighter for you. Yeah, asset drop first, and then capital will drop in correspondence with the value. Double entry. Yeah, debit capital, credit asset. All right. So your asset now drop. Capital is now 2.935. This is going to be a balance sheet must balance. So this is your capital based on the market value. This is your capital based on the book value. So much of a difference here. Yeah. So much of a difference. That's what we got in part 2 of the question. Okay, part 3B of the question will be, what is the new market to book value ratio? What is the new market to book value ratio if State Bank has 1 million shares outstanding? Okay, very simple. This ratio follow what they said. Market value capital to book value capital. Capital market value 2.9, capital book value 9.1. Now we love both to be same. Yeah, we love both the capital to be equal, no problem. If it's equal, you get 1. If it's more than 1, great, market value higher than book value. But in this case, it's not. Market value less than the book value. Because market value is economically, that's the value the shareholders or the capital providers will feel that's sitting in the book. Anything goes wrong with the company, they can get back 2.935 million. Book value is just in the books. So if it's more than 1, great. If far from 1, super good. If it's far from below, far below, can you put below here? Far below 1, yeah, like in this case, 0.32. Get ready to pump. Get ready to pump. I don't know why I said pump. Maybe pump in money. Is that not do the pumping? Pumping is to build up your chest. Is that okay? Get ready to pump in more money because the regulators will come in and calculate the ratios. Maybe not enough. This one got nothing to do with ratio. Huh? This is nothing to do with ratio. It's just that it will probably hurt your CAR. We need to calculate the CAR. In this case, we can't calculate because we only have capital, but we don't have the whatever risk adjusted. Yeah, asset here. What is the asset? Not all assets are risky, but if it's risky, then you need to divide it by. Later, I'll tell you why cash is no risk. I'll tell you why later in question 5. So you need to divide it with 89.1 to get a ratio. Okay, if you think it's risky. All right, don't worry about CAR here. Okay, so that was question number 3B, double entry, capital drop, asset drop. Asset drop will lead to capital drop. Book value drop, market value drop, book value over, market value capital over book value capital. You divide, it's less than 1, no good. Equals to 1, not bad. More than 1, wow. Is that okay? Super good. So this is what we have here for this question, number 3. Yeah, this is what we have here for this question, number 3. Can you all give me a 5 if you understand what I spoke just now? Can all of you give me a 5, please? Come, can all of you give me a 5 if everything is good? Thank you. Okay. Those of you who are not typing, meaning you either don't understand, or so few people I know not typing. Either you don't understand, or you're not in front of your whatever keyboard to type in. Yeah, keyboard, no battery. Okay, maybe. Now, question number 4, we're going to do it quickly. This one, I would highly recommend you to watch your lecture videos. Is that okay? To see how this is done. That is, Dr. Saiban have explained beautifully the concept of operational risk measurement and all that. Please make sure you know how it's done for exam or for your test purposes. Is that okay? So what is roughly what is operational risk? As I said in question 1 just now, Operational risk is basically the risk. I've given some extra work here. I took it from Google University. Is that okay? Google is the best university in the world now at the moment. Yeah. So we have here, is that okay? Yeah. Operating risk definition according to Basel is risk because of your failure in internal process operation. Is that okay? People falling down from the LRT bridge, while constructing. All this is a human error. All this due to operation. All right, due to operation, failed internal process. And I've given you some more source of operation. I just spoke about this single door, back door. This is like, for example, single door, back door can be security breaks. Security break-in, like computer today. People hack the computer. Are you able to hack Monash system? Any hackers here? I think, if I'm not mistaken, last time when I joined Monash, I think about 2014. I'm still a tutor, okay? I don't want to be, I'm a tutor all the way, okay? 2014, when I joined in as a tutor, it was very simple. Yeah, I just go into my email. My email can be any email number. Is that okay? I can put my dog's name as my email, password, whatever. Now cannot. Now cannot. Cannot be a name, must be hash number, must put a star, asterisk, whatever, must have a uppercase, lowercase, star number, cannot be a name that people can guess. Wow. Yeah. Tough. I also don't know what's my password until now. Okay. But now then they came up with Google Authenticator. Why? Because people hack in all that operational. I heard someone hacked into the HR of Monash, Australia. I don't know whether this is true, but I just heard some people saying that is the reason why they have this Google Authenticator, where you need to key in the number that comes out every 2 minutes or 1 minute. So you must have your phone beside you, which is actually a good system. But normally what I do, don't challenge me in this computer. Because mine nothing. I don't have exam question. Dr. Saiban probably will have to use Google Authenticator, because why? His question paper all there, yeah, and his all this information, or sometimes, yeah, exam related. He must have this. So banks also will have to make sure there is a single door. Last time, single door is one door come in, and sometimes people can come from the back door. Back door, so you must have double door system. I mean, I saw somewhere, some movie, that's why I'm just relating to you. Single door, back door, no way you can take out money from the bank easily. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so there's a lot of process risk here, transaction risk, product development, people risk like fraud, competence, health and safety, strike, people standing outside. And striking is essentially a risk here. Yeah, system failure, data loss, like what happened to certain banks. Yeah, I don't want to say which bank we are recording. Scared they will sue me for what do you call this, defamation. Yeah, starts with C lah. I don't want to tell you which bank. Some data has been lost. Suddenly the money in that account all missing. Then they do some investigation. They restored back. I don't know how they restored back. Took the money that went out, or they put in the money that went out. Not sure. Maybe I think they put in. Treat that as a loss. That's a loss to the bank. Okay. External risk, external supplier. Okay. You have natural disasters like 911 attack. What happened? Some banks just disappeared after the 911. Maybe they were located somewhere in that vicinity. They disappeared. The money they all got. Yeah, of course they have insurance, I'm supposed, right? You must hedge all these things. Strikes outside. Is it important? Well, if you look at this case, Google and see all first society, household finance. Yeah, they lost 6 billion here. This guy's lost 6 billion. This guy's lost, not bad. Oopsie. Oh, what did I do? Yeah. This guy's lost 691. 6 billion is big because of fraud. 640. Bank of New York Mellon is lost 140 for September 11 at the Enron. Lost. Yeah, the world lost because of the accounting fraud. I think this is a famous case they use for case study for accounting fraud. Yeah, Arthur Andersen, one of the largest big six, they call it big six. The time was big six. Now Arthur Andersen went off, became big five, then big four now. Yeah, long story. Okay. All the firms. Yeah, so this is what you call by operating risk. Just read up on the thing. Now let's go to this question number 5. Take time to explain. This is table. Don't worry about table numbers. Okay, there's no such thing as table 1, table 2, table 3. Depends on how they arrange the thing. This is table on residential mortgages. Just remember, this is table on residential mortgages. Okay. That means your loans are given to house buyers. There's what standard here, there's non-standard here. With insurance, I circle for you to say no insurance. These are the figures, LVR, loan valuation ratio. Okay, this table is called LVR table. Okay, so just extract this table. We're going to have here. Okay, next table we are going to see is your OBS table. Okay, I call it OBS table of balance sheet. Transaction, we have standby letter of credit, performance related, trade related. Okay, so we have this, maybe we put this is going to be table 3. Okay, then we have this table, OBS table. The next table, I want to call it, okay, I want to call this, let me extract the page. I want to call it Standards and Poor's table. Yeah, this is all the credit rating agencies. There are 3 big rating agencies today, Standards and Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch. Australian fellas like to use, I believe they like Standards and Poor's, so we stick to Standard and Poor's. But nevertheless, if you're tested in exam, Moody's or Fitch, just come and see this. Moody's have got a big uppercase, lowercase. Yeah, that's how they little bit of difference. Fitch is very close to Standards and Poor's. Okay, this is just the table reading down here. And the last one we have here is, I call it, okay, let me extract these pages so that I don't have to go up and go down. What I advise you to do is, if this question, print out these tables. There are only 5 pages in this table. First one is, we call it LVR table. Yeah, LVR. I call it LVR for my own references. The second table will be OBS table. Up to you what you want to call the second table. Second table is OBS. Let's call it OBS of balance sheet. The third table is going to be Standards and Poor's table, S&P. The next table, the last table here, I'm going to call it IR, interest rates, and FX. FX is foreign exchange. IR, interest rate table. What is this table all going to tell you? We're going to apply now, okay? We are going to apply. Listen carefully. Now, Third Bank has the following balance sheet for 2016 with the risk weights in parentheses. Yeah, just like one student asked, what is parentheses? Parent doing thesis, no. Parentheses means in bracket. In bracket. It's a funny way of saying bracket. They say parentheses. Okay. So we got asset, we got liability. Now we are now doing this chapter here, and this chapter is called Capital Adequacy Ratio. Capital, you and I know what is capital. The hurdle in this chapter is how much is your asset? How much is your risk asset? Risk weighted asset, RWA. What is your asset that is risky? So if you want to find out how many percent of this asset that is risky, I need the percentage or the weightage here. That's how this table will come in to help us how to get or obtain the percentages. Okay, so here we say cash. Don't worry, this question actually can do very fast because they already put a percentage beside that. But if they don't give you, where to get it? I'm going to show you. Okay, so cash is 0%. Anyway, cash, we will look at table number, whatever we call it. They call it standards and poor's table. Yeah, S&P table. You see here cash equivalent, Australian government bonds or RBA. So this is all we use 0%, no risk at all. So you take your amount of cash, you multiply by 0%. It's not like you take the whole amount. No, you multiply by 0%. So when you take 20 million, you multiply by 0%. So the cash is going to be disappearing. Let me show you the answer. Let's just keep the answers extracted on the other page. Come. Okay, so we got cash. So what are the risk assets we're going to see in part A of the question? It's going to be balance sheet of the asset. We'll take cash, which is 20 million, and we multiply by 0%. So cash will never be inside my denominator of my asset. Capital on top, asset, cash will never be inside there because there's no risk at all. Yeah, you can say, but what just now you say operational risk, cash can get disappear. Someone can come into the bank and do bank robbery. Yeah, can, but usually it will be insured. Yeah, when there's a bank robbery, the banker will put the arms straight and say, come, this is the money, take and go. Don't disturb me, don't disturb my customers, get lost. But the policeman is the one that create problem actually. Banker will just press one button, just to call the police. Why must he press the button? Because insurance company wants them to press the button. Yeah, otherwise cannot claim insurance. So basically they can claim insurance, don't worry. So this is usually 0%. Okay. Next one. Let's go on again. Listen. Interbank deposit with AA rated 20%. Now, interbank deposit with AA rated 20%. What we have to do here is this is AA rated. This is interbank deposit, bank to bank, but the other bank will have a risk of closing down and they are rated AA. Now, according to this, it's given as 20%. What do we have to see? We have to see the S&P table. Yeah, S&P table. Let's come here. AA rated. We're going to take 20% of that asset. It's going to be risky. So what you do, 20% of 25 million will be risky. If you see the answers here, 20% of 25 million, 5 million of the asset will sit inside here. Okay. Next one, we have, now I put some color here just now. Standard, important word. Residential mortgage, important word. Non-insured, important word. LVR sitting at 85%. According to this question, this is a basic question style, okay? According to this question, this is 50%. Let's see how on earth we're going to find 50%. So let's go to, what table is this? LVR, residential mortgage. Standard, non-insured. No insurance. LVR 85, residential. So start off with residential. Start off with residential, standard, no insurance. How many percent? 85%. 50% is going to be risky of that total amount. There you go. Can slowly, make sure you know how to get the 50%. They give you, thank God, not given, find yourself. So 50% of 70 is going to be 35 million will be risky asset. Pay attention to this type of question. Maybe you will be tested in exam. Okay, maybe, I don't know. Just guessing, I don't know, seriously. Okay, so you have here business loan. Business loan, simple, BB rated. BB rated means Standard and Poor's stable. Let's go to Standard and Poor's. BB is 2B only, BB, B plus or same. Well, 100% of that asset is risky. So 100% is what you should see in the parenthesis here. So all 70 million is going to be risky. So 100%, you can just put 100%, don't worry. I don't need to change it to a factor. 100% times 70, it's going to be 70 million. I think there's no more other thing. This is going to be in the balance sheet risk asset 110. Done. Okay. Next, go on to off balance sheet. Now, there are something called off balance sheet. By the way, the capital is 10. So capital is 10, waiting for the asset to come in now. What asset? Risk-weighted asset. Balance sheet asset, we already know that is going to be 110. But there are also off-balance sheet asset that we have to calculate. Listen carefully. Now you know what? Hey, 6 question also cannot finish on time. Don't worry. Okay? Don't worry. Yeah? Don't worry, can finish, don't get upset. Okay, in addition, the bank has 30 million in performance related. Let's slow down. Performance related standby letter of credit. Keyword is performance related. Standby letter of credit, 30 million. Okay, go to OBS table. Performance related. Keyword performance related. I highlight for you. I circle for you. Standby letter of credit, 50% of that asset, not yet in the books, might not become your asset in the future. So it's going to be 50% of that figure, 30 million. 50%, which is going to be 15. The risk weighted is always 100%, no problem there. So this is going to be 15 million risk weighted asset. Done. But in the question, they should give you, because they didn't give you the table. So here they give you the small little table that you have to choose the right one. So this is 50, sorry, this is 50%. This is, okay, this is 50%. Next one, 40 million in 2-year forward contract, 40 million that are currently making money by 1 million. Now, that one is another part, okay? 40 million is forward contract. Forward contract is foreign exchange. Last table, please. Last table, 2-year forward contract, foreign currency or interest rate. Check out. This is for FX. FX is foreign exchange contract. And this is 40 million, 2-year. Keyword, 2-year currency. 2-year currency. Forex table, 2-year currency. 2 years stands under here. And it's only 5% of that asset is deemed to be risky. So we are going to take, that's given here actually 5%. Anyway, we have to find inside here, which is going to be 5% of this is 2 million. Okay, answers there. Beautifully stated here. No problem. Next one is going to be this one. Now, inside the currency, currently, you're actually in the money. In the money compared to out of the money. In the money means on books, you're making money. On books, you're already making money. You can smile now. In books, you're making money. You can smile. This could be your potential asset. Yeah? 1 million is your potential asset. you can make the 1 million, but the question is, we want to find what is our risk-adjusted asset. Now, you must always remember that this is a mirror reflection. If you are happy, if you are very happy, the other fella beside you is not happy, you're going to take the 1 million from him. That's how it becomes your asset, because you are in the money. Somebody has to give you that money, and that fella who deal with you could be not happy, and he might run away from you. Is that okay? It's not punching. He might run away from you. So there is a potential risk that you might not see him because you are making money. Don't forget, it's your money until you receive. If it's not received yet, potentially you might not get it. Could be a default here by the other party. So it's your asset. Yes, it's your asset, but we will take that in the money. We always take 100% as the whole amount can be risky. I'm not saying it's a loss. I'm saying you might not get it because that person might not want to see you again in his life. Okay, so that's the reason why we are going to say in the money over there. So remember, in the money, 100% always. 300 million in 6-year interest rate swap. Two things here. 6-year, just some color. 6-year interest to swap. Swap is just a derivatives here, so it's going to be interest rate swap. So it's 6-year and swap. Sorry, 6-year and interest rate. What table? FX table. 6-year interest rate. Interest rate. Look at this. 6-year. It's more than 5 years. More than 5 years. Doesn't matter whether it's a swap or whatever. So it's 1.5%. So you got it here. This table, little table given. But if let's say this little table not given in exam, don't worry. This exam, it's still online. Is that okay? It's still online. You can have all your table. Yeah, it's open secret. Is that okay? It's open secret. Nothing to hide here. Yeah, still like kind of like open book test. Is that okay? It's kind of like open book test. People say don't see books, but you need the table anyway, right? You need the table. If the table is given in the exam, like this extract, use the table here, or you can also use the table that we have provided with you here. Yeah, the lecture, I think you have all this table. Yeah, in the tutorial answers also you have the table attached beautifully. So you have 1.5 is going to be the percentage that is going to be deemed to be bad. So we're going to take here 1.5%. You can write like this, or you're not sure of writing like this, just confidently put here 1.5% straight away. Yeah, sometimes students don't know how to change this to 1.5. They might put 1.5%. This is actually 0.15%. So sometimes very confusing. Better just put 1.5%, safer. Yeah, very safe. Multiply by this is 4.5. And then we have this thing here called, we have this thing here called out of the money. Now, out of the money means you are not in the money. The other way around of in the money is out of the money. You are not making money. If you close your positions today, you probably would lose money. And if it's an option kind of thing, if it's an option, probably we won't exercise it. But if it's for other things, maybe you have to go into it and you're going to lose money. So it's not your asset, it's our liability. So liability doesn't come under the denominator of the RWA. We need capital over asset. We are looking for asset, my friends. We are not looking for liability here. So 2 million, it's not going to come in at all. Okay, it's not an asset. Don't show in this RWA calculation. So if you're going to take this, you're going to take 110 first part plus the 22.5, second part, this is going to be your total risk adjusted off and on balance sheet. This is going to be your denominator, 132.5. You take your capital and you divide it by this, and you're going to get to see how many percent you have. Okay, but anyway, what did the question say? Yeah, okay. I have explained to you how on earth we know this 0%, 20%, 50%, 100% based on the table. And we also went through how to get this percentage all based on the table. Okay. Part A of the question, what are the risk-adjusted balance sheet asset as bank would define as Basel? Well, I think that answer should be 132.5. Your answer stops here for part A. Okay. What is the total capital required for both on and off? How much total capital required? Now, if you say how many percent, the question didn't say, well, we follow Basel 10.5%. If I want 10.5% required, not the actual capital you have. So if I want 10.5%, working backwards. This one is mathematically, if you understand how to do it, straightforward. But if you follow this formula, capital over your asset, which is going to be capital unknown, asset known, 10.5%. And this is going to be a capital here, which is going to be 13.91 is the capital that I need to meet the Basel of 10.5%. So this is working backwards. So this multiplied by this, you get this, or this, send it to the side. Also multiply to get 13.1. I hope all of you are good here. Okay. Now, the next part here, does the bank have enough capital to meet the requirement? Of course, we have to find out. If not, what minimum tier 1, tier 2, and all that is needed. Okay. So this is the answer for the tier 1. And now let's go down here. Does the bank have enough tier 1 capital to meet the regulatory requirement? Well, you said no. Why no? Because no, the bank does not have sufficient capital, because we have the capital just now. How much was the capital? The capital was 10 million. Remember, the capital that you got here, 3 plus 5 plus 2, these are all tier 1, tier 2 capital. We only got 10 million. 10 million, it's going to be not enough. Yeah, because the question says we need about 13.91. So we are short. We are short. 13.91 is what we need. We only got 10 point whatever. So we are short. Or what you can do, you can say, no, it's not enough, because we only got 10. We have 10. Yeah. Have 10. Need how much? We need 13.91 to just meet Basel III total capital ratio. So not enough. No. Now let's calculate one by one. Okay, let's calculate one by one. See what happened in the introduction here. I did say that you need 7% common equity to asset. We want to meet that one first. That's how you climb on top. You can meet the first one, then you see whether did you meet the second one, then you see whether you meet the third one. All must be met. Let's see in this question, 7%. If I purely take common equity, can I look at this one first? Yeah, I want to start from the base. If I take common equity, I have 2 million. I draw for you here. I got 2 million common equity. So if I take 2 million capital over my asset, it's 1.7, not enough because I need 7% as the target. So I'm in trouble. Yeah. But if I take the tier 1, including common equity, tier 1, including common equity, I got 7. 2 plus 5, you got 7. And producing tier 1 common equity, 7 divided by is 5.28. And this is 8.5%. Just now we saw still fail. So second failure there. Common, the total is 10. Of course, this one also failed. 10 divided by 132, it's less than 10.5 for Basel. We only got 7.55. Consequently, the bank failed all 3 CAR adequacy ratio. So now the question says, how much you need? What's the minimum tier 1 you need, or whatever tiers or whatever capital you need to bring in? Now, I can solve this. You don't start from the top. Solution must start from the bottom. Because sometimes you solve this, but you can't solve this. What for? You put more capital on top. You bring all this tier 2 capital. What for? You must also bring common equity. Because common equity, you need to bring them up to 7%. So what do? You work backwards. This, I don't know. How much must this be? 7%. So this divided by this is 7. So this times 7 is how much? This times 7 is I need a common equity capital of 9.27. So I need to make sure my equity is 2 plus extra here 7.275. I need to bring in 7.275 extra to make up my common equity into 9.275. When I take 9.275, when I divide it with 1.32.5, I will get about 7%, which I meet my first hurdle, which I've already met. Now, the double entry, if you want to do the balance sheet, is debit cash, credit capital, debit cash, because the shareholders must bring in money. They cannot bring in whatever they like. They must bring in money. So debit cash, credit here. Balance sheet balance, and my common equity has been met. Let's check whether I have met my tier 1 total capital. Tier 1. So common equity, 7. Yes. Tier 1 capital is 5. Can I just highlight for you here? Is 5 plus this. Sorry, I'm looking at as though there's a whiteboard here. Okay. So this is 5 plus 9.275. 5 plus 9 is 14.275. So this is the value here. Divided by this, it's 10.77, which is more than 8.5. Basel says tier 1 must be more than 8.5. Are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy. And the total capital I have here, this is 10.5 target. Total capital I have is 8 plus, this is 17 point. Typo here, typo, just a small typo. So it's supposed to be 17.275 divided by 132.5, giving you a figure of 13.0. Is that okay? It's going to give you 13.0, which is equals to already more than 10.5. Happy. You make your base happy, everything else is going to be taken care of. If some students say, can I put all the money here? Can. You may make this fellow happy, 10.5 can be met, but this one's still below the no point. You make your foundation stronger, everything else will be enough. So basically, how you do the shortages, fill up the shortages, start from wherever you need. If let's say common equity 7% already met, let's say origin, but only fail in the second one, then just bring money here lah. Just bring money here. You must bring money here to solve it. Or you can bring money here also. Up to you where you want to put, because it's fine. Okay. If here only got problem, then you can just bring tier 2 capital, or you can bring tier 1 or common equity also to solve the top pyramid side of the issue. Okay. There you go. This is going to be the next question. Tough, right? Tough. Yeah, it is tough. Okay. Now look at question number 6. What is the contribution to the asset base of this particular? Now here, this question is like a guidebook. We're going to teach you how to find what is the asset we should bring inside here. What is the asset we should bring inside here? Okay. So there are few data here. Now this is very nicely put, but let me show you the answer. It's a bit faster to do that way. I'm sorry, it's very small, but I try my best to make it as big as we can. Make it bigger. Okay, should be good enough. Maybe 250 size. Okay. Now, sorry, it's very small. Okay, it's too small. What is the asset that we are going to take in here? The first one is A. First one is A, which is going to be 10 million cash reserve. Cash reserve is going to be, you're going to take cash, which is 10 million. We're going to take 10 million multiplied by a percentage, which is going to be under the S&P, Standards and Poor's. Cash comes under 0% risk, so we're going to take multiply by 0%, giving you this. Of course, the answer is here. I just like to write. You know me, right? I just like to write. Okay. 50 million multiplied by 91 days is a short-term 3-month government securities. Standards and Poor's government securities, Australian government, no risk. So you live in Australia, your government for you, no risk, 0%. Don't say, oh, sir, I live in Sri Lanka, what happened? Of course, that one is an exceptional case. Is that okay? So multiply by 0%, giving you 0. So your asset will be 0 at the denominator. Capital over asset. Here, A, we don't bring in cash. We don't bring in government bond. The next one is going to be 25 million cash item in the process of collection. 25 million cash item in the process of collection is not yet collected. It's still under receivable, and the person that is giving the money to you is rated AA. So what do you have to look for? 25 million is your asset. How much is this? Is it a cash already? Not yet. Are you collecting? Yes. From whom? This person rated AA. AA, we're going to look at the table. AA, there's a 20% risk there. So it's going to be multiplied by 20%. So the asset that is risky is 5 million. Next one, you have 5 million, a UK government bond. Maybe you can argue government, no risk one. Yeah, I know government, no risk. But here they say this government is rated AA. You might be thinking, why got government a problem? Because sometimes Australians go to UK to do business. There can be some risk taking out the money, and there can be some political, regulatory risk and all that. So we're going to say there is a risk here. Not easy to take out money from another country. So 5 million multiplied by AA rated. I think you don't need to go far. AA rated we saw just now. Let's go in. AA rated we saw just now 20%. Is that okay? AA rated 20%. Same to here, 20%. Next one, 5 million OECD short-dated government bond. Same, doesn't matter government bond or what, still AA rated. So 5 million times 20%. AA means 20%. I think goes to your head already. Don't need to see the table. The next one is going to be some keywords that we're going to see is insured. Insured, standard, residential, mortgage, LVA, less than 80%. Insured, standard, less than 80%. Come. With insurance, standard with insurance, less than 80 is below this. So you can take any of these 35% multiplied by 35% multiplied by 500. So you got 500 multiplied by 35%. Don't worry about table 5. Sometimes the table is differently read here. So just remember LVA table, Standard and Poor, OBS table, interest rate, FX table. 4 table only. You have to know. Next one, 500 million business loan, BBB rated, 500 million. So again, 500 million business loan, BBB, Standard and Poor, 100%, BBB, 100%. So we multiply by 100%. So this is going to, where is that? Sorry, multiply by 100%. All the value is risky. 100 million, okay, sorry, 100,000. 100,000 performance related standby letter of credit, BBB, got 2 here. Performance related OBS table, performance related is this one, and it's going to be 50%. Standby letter of credit, performance related 50%. So multiply by 50%. One more you must multiply is BBB rated. BBB rated is going to be just now 100%. So you multiply by 100%. That should give you 50,000. Okay. Next one, performance related standby letter of credit, also 50%. So we're going to take here 100,000 multiplied by 50%. A plus rated, go to Standards and Poor's. A plus is 50%. So you multiply by 50%, giving you 25. This is some typo here, okay? You press your calculator and see, you should get this 25 correctly calculated. Careful, some 1 or 2 typos here, okay? So next one is going to be 7 million trade-related letter of credit, trade-related letter of credit, Standards and Poor's, trade-related letter of credit, trade, keywords are there, trade-related, 20%. So we multiply by 20%. And this is BBB plus, Standards and Poor's. Go to Standards and Poor's, oopsie, this one. BB, 100%, whatever B, like B plus or B minus, okay? B plus is going to be, see, Standards and Poor's, B plus or B minus, or 100%, so multiply by 100%, giving you 1.4 million. Now, next one, here you have 17 million multiplied by 3-year loan commitment. Now, 3-year loan commitment, 3-month loan commitment, A rated, not A negative 3, A rated 4, A negative or A rated. Now, here 3-month loan commitment, Standard & Poor's, go to Standard & Poor's, loan commitment is in the next page, other commitment, you got 1 year, less than a year, and 1 year, 3 months comes under this 20%. But here we are going to make an assumption, depends on your assumption. If you say 3 months can be the first one, we say 3 months, but here the question wants you to assume the drawdown seems certain. Drawdown means they will come and take the loan. Customers will come and take the loan. If you feel there's a certainty they will come and take the loan, banker must give the money to them. The drawdown seems to be certain. In that case, what you need to do is you need to see the first one here, commitment with certainty in the drawdown. We need to take 100%. If there is a certainty, so in the exam, you got to be very clear. If it's not given, make your own assumption. If it's less than undrawn formal standby, so it's there's no guarantee, there's no certainty, then you take this. If it's 3 months, but if there's certainty in the drawdown, virtually this is going to be your asset. So take all as 100% here. So you're going to take 17 million times 100% because certainty in the drawdown. A is going to be A minus or A, doesn't matter. A will be 50% of the asset will be risky. So it's going to be multiplied by 50%. Okay. Why? Because this is my loan, but out of that 50% only going to run away. Maybe that's how you look at it. So you're going to get here 8.5 million. Next one is 30 million standby letter of credit. Standby letter of credit. A circle here, standby letter. Sometimes where is it? It's all here, hiding here. Okay, you take 100% and you're going to get standby letter of credit. Standby letter of credit. You take 30 million, multiply by 100%, and you're going to take triple C. Triple C is 150%. So you're going to take multiply by 1.5 or 150%, you're going to get 45 million. Now, the next one is going to be 4 million interest rates futures position. Now, futures, you and I know when you talk about in derivatives, the futures are usually short term. Usually, it's in practice, it's usually people go less than a year, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, maximum also 18 months. So it's basically, it's going to be less than a year story. If it's future is under the interest rate. So if we go to interest rate, less than 1 year. So go to interest rate, IR. We look at this, interest rate, less than 1 year, 0%. So you don't have to take anything here, multiply by 0%, value is 0. Now this one is broken up here, 6 million currency swap with rating A+. Okay, let's do that first. Next one is current exposure with rating. So there's inside here got 2 parts inside. So one is currency swap, 6 million currency swap, 2 years. Let's do that first. Currency swap, 2 years. Currency is FX. 2 years is where? Here. 1 to 5 years is 2 years. It's going to be 5%. So we're going to take here 5%, 5%, and A+ rated. Standard & Poor's A+ should be 50%. A+ is 50%. So you multiply by 50%, you're going to get here $150,000. Okay, you're going to get here $150,000. And this is going to be 1. And the second part of the question is with 500,000 current exposure, 500,000 current exposure is basically today 100%. No need to worry. Current exposure is already have to pay. Sorry, already is exposed there. So potentially it's going to be risky. So 500,000 current exposure. This one is 2 years later only it'll be exposed. Swap will happen. Yeah. So 500,000 current exposure, and this is A plus. A plus is 50%. So you're going to get in total 400,000. You can do it separately, or you can just do it like this and total them up for currency swap. And there you go. And this is how we will be completing this tutorial. This week's tutorial, just want to tell you, I would say important tutorial because banking syllabus cannot run away from capital adequacy. Banks depend so much on capital adequacy. No worries, Carl. You put which one you want to put first also can. You want to put here 6 multiplied by 50%, multiplied by 5%, can still get 150,000. You want to put 6 at the end, fine, go ahead. Doesn't matter. We just want to see 150. No worries about how the order is. Yeah, I'm actually following the question order. I put 50 million, then I put the AA at the back. I'm following the question order. Okay, good. Yes, you have to make an assumption there. Xu and Wei, yeah, you have to make one assumption there because you are not sure. You just have to make an assumption. The drawdown will be certain if it's less than a few months to go. You can assume they're going to give them the loan. Yeah, usually the exam question should state, but if they don't state, make your assumption. Since we already done this tutorial question, you just put that assume drawdown seems to be certain. Yeah, no one knows whether they come and take it or not, but if they walk in very close to the near there, they might come in to take. Is that okay? So we're going to say drawdown seems to be certain, put assume there. Okay, okay, good, welcome. All right, that will be the end. We will stop here. I'll take some questions. If anything you have, I'll just wait for you all to leave and just stop the recording first. Yeah.